Welcome to the 122nd regular convocation of Memorial University of Newfoundland, coming to you from the Arts and Culture Centre in St. John's. Approximately 1,000 degrees will be conferred in the 4 sessions of convocation this fall. In this third session, taking place at 10 a.m. on Friday, October 22nd, 2021, there will be the conferring of the degrees of Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Music Education, Bachelor of Special Education, Bachelor of Education Post-Secondary, Bachelor of Education Intermediate Secondary, Bachelor of Education Primary Elementary, Bachelor of Maritime Studies, Bachelor of Technology, Master of Health Ethics, Master of Music, Master of Applied Statistics, Master of Employment Relations, Master of Technology Management, Master of Science in Boreal Ecosystems and Agricultural Sciences, Master of Applied Psychological Science Cooperative, and Master of Science in Fishery Science. Also in this session, an honorary Doctor of Letters degree will be conferred upon traditional musician Kelly Russell. This session of convocation is being presided over by Dr. Susan Knight, Chancellor of Memorial University. The academic procession is led by Marshal James Price of the Department of Human Resources, along with Deputy Marshal Donna Walsh of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, and Marshals Derek House of the Marine Institute and Brian Hammond of the Office of the Registrar. The mace, a symbol of the authority vested in the university, is carried by David Pippy, Office of the Registrar. Convocation will be officially open when the mace is placed on the table in front of the Chancellor as presiding officer.
You may be seated. There's a warm welcome to everybody here today from all of us, and so many people are thinking about you. So we are about to start your convocation, and we will start it with the most important reading, which happens all over the university all the time now, and that is the land acknowledgement. I would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the homelands of the Beothuk, the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Ban the Beothuk. I would like to recognize the Inuit of Nunatutsiavut and Nunatuhavut and the Innu of Nitassinan as their ancestors, as the original people of Labrador. We strive for respectful relationships with all the peoples of this province. As we search for collective healing and true reconciliation as we honor this beautiful land together. It's now my pleasure to ask Dr. Vian Timmons, our president, and maybe I should say new president, although you've been here for a little while, because I don't know how many of these formal gatherings, this is your first convocation here. Yes, so you're very welcome too. So would you address convocation, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor. And you can say new president. I'd like to keep that going for a while because it might mean I have a longer honeymoon period, though I really don't feel I had much of one. Chancellor, Honorable Minister Osborne, it's so great to have you here, and thank you for your advocacy and support. Members of the Board of Regents, members of the Senate and faculty, graduates, distinguished guests, family, and friends. Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and congratulations. You're going to be hearing that word a lot, congratulations, and relish it. Now, I noticed none of you really waved to me when I came in, but good morning. Thank you. I also welcome to your family and friends who are here to celebrate your success with you. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to offer a special hello to all of the graduates and their families watching online. Some of you are living out of a province and plan to return for convocation, but then were unable to. And I know you would be disappointed, and so are we, but we want to send our best wishes to each of you, and thank you for joining us. I also want to recognize another group of students who are graduating this morning, but are not here at our convocation. This is our first cohort to graduate from the Nunavut Teacher Education Program, which is a partnership between Memorial University of Newfoundland and Labrador and Nunavut Arctic College. These 10 graduates will be celebrated in Nunavut at a later date, but I wanted to take some time this morning to offer congratulations to them. Can we give them a hand? We are also thrilled here today to acknowledge Kelly Russell, who will be receiving our honorary Doctorate of Letters degree this morning. Congratulations, Kelly. As a professional musician since 1975, his name is known with traditional folk music in this province, and playing traditional music is not a passing fancy for him, but a way of life. His work has ensured that generations to come will have access to the musical heritage. Now, to say it's thrilling to be here is an understatement. As the Chancellor mentioned, I haven't had many opportunities to even see our students in person. I started as president of Memorial University in April 2020. That's when we were all in lockdown, and I was in an Airbnb downtown for 5 weeks in lockdown and quarantine. And then we had a long, hard year. You know, this fall, our students returned to campus, and finally we're starting to have in-person events. But it does look a little different. There's been lots of things silenced over this past year. We haven't heard the music of concerts and plays and singing in churches. We've missed the laughter at birthday parties, the cheering at sporting events. So it's okay today if you want to make a lot of noise. Let's do that. Let's give every one of our graduates a hand. And some of our graduates don't have their family and friends here, so it's important that every one of them are celebrated. I want to start this celebration today by congratulating each of you here and online. You face what is the greatest societal upheaval of our generation. You know, in the last year of your program, we sent you home. We told you you'd have to learn remotely, and I know you found it hard. And what did you do? Well, you persevered. You knew how important it was to finish your degrees, to move forward on your educational path, to start a job, or maybe to move on to different programs or universities, and you did that. This kind of adaptability and commitment is good news for the rest of us. It means you, the generation coming up behind us, the leaders of tomorrow, you are ready to face whatever life throws at you. Today we honor you, our graduates, and as president, I'm proud of every Memorial student and what they've accomplished over this past year. And I want to share a couple of examples with you that show how our students are making a difference in people's lives and contributing to our province and our world. For example, a group of mechanical engineering students won a national 2021 Innovative Designs for Accessibility competition. Do you know what they did? They designed a mechanical arm brace for a young girl with cerebral palsy who uses a wheelchair. She now can use her tablet independent of others. One of our international students did something special for Midterm Matters this spring. Midterm Matters encourages students to recharge their batteries with purpose and optimism by volunteering during spring break. Leisha Torrey distributed handmade kindness cards at the Pottle Center, which helps adults living with addictions and mental health issues. She made it her purpose to spread kindness. Andrew Robart is a third-year medical student and the university's latest Canadian Medical Hall of Fame award winner. He is passionate about combining his background in medicine and engineering to use technology to improve healthcare. During the pandemic, he started the company Virtual Patient Navigator AI, and it's focused on developing solutions to help patients navigate the healthcare system and limit potential virus exposure using artificial intelligence. Such important work. And finally, 240 of our students registered with the Memorial Centre for Entrepreneurship this fall, a number completely unseen before. MCE supports budding student entrepreneurs. You know that their startup companies have raised more than $15 million and created more than 200 jobs since 2016. So impressive and so important. You know what these examples tell us? Not only are our students strong and determined, but you have a social conscience. You will use your skills and training to help our communities and build a better future. And this is what our new strategic plan, Transforming Our Horizons, is all about. It recognizes that the actions we take today will change the world tomorrow. The plan leads us forward, knowing that Memorial is a university that listens, that innovates, and that contributes to our province and our world. You know, it's time to paraphrase our university motto, to launch you forth into that world. Convocation is one of the most important things we do as a university, admitting you, our graduates, to your degrees, elevating you from student to graduate. It's one of my favorite things to do as president. And I love to watch all of your feet walk across this the stage. And I know all of us watch the shoes you wear. But before you cross the stage to receive your degrees, I'd like to take an opportunity to say a few words to each group of graduating students. And I'm going to ask you to stand. If you cannot stand, you can raise your hand or even just nod. With those who are earning a master's degree, please stand. Through your unique paths of study, you pursued new avenues of thought, and you have gained diverse new perspectives on our world. These perspectives will serve our communities well because in the coming years, you will use your wisdom to accomplish wonderful things and to make a positive impact on others. I know you have many choices to pursue your graduate work, and I thank you for choosing our university to pursue your studies. Thank you. Would the graduates of the Faculty of Education please stand? As a teacher myself, I want to say welcome to this noble profession. I think of all of us can still name one of our favorite teachers. I know I can. Grade 2 in Labrador City, Miss Deasy was a fabulous, no, Miss Marcel was my fabulous teacher. Miss Deasy was a music teacher. told me to not sing, just to move my mouth. So it was Miss Marcel who was so amazing to me and left a mark on me for the rest of my life. So teachers, you make a difference. And that's because you as teachers are so important to our young lives as we're developing academically and socially. Teachers simplify the complex and make abstract concepts accessible to students. You are the most influential people in our students' learning lives, and you have such a role to play in their well-being and in developing them to contribute to a caring, inclusive society. Thank you for taking on one of the most challenging and rewarding of professions. Thank you very much. Now, normally I wouldn't single out anybody, but we are scheduled to have one graduate from the School of Music at this session. Ethan McGower, just could you wave? There's Ethan. And Ethan, all of our students are creative and passionate, and your time here has built a solid foundation for the future in a wide variety of professions. Maybe you're going to be the next, oh, you've got to sit down. And it was Ethan I wanted to note. I'm talking to music now, the school music. Thank you to the education students for choosing Memorial to pursue your degree. Now, Ethan, Memorial music students are creative and passionate. Your time has built a solid foundation for the future in a wide variety of professions. You might be the next indie rock star or video game composer. And now more than ever, careers in music demand versatility. And at Memorial, you've learned that critical thinking is just as important as creativity. And I wish you all the best as you start out your own music narrative. Can we give them a hand? Would those who attended the Marine Institute please stand? Graduates, you've successfully completed your studies at an institution that is recognized nationally and internationally for programs of excellence. For more than 500 years, the ocean has been at the central and economic heart of this province, even before that. And I am confident that you will continue to lead and grow the ocean sector in this province and contribute to the economic vitality of Newfoundland and Labrador. Thank you for pursuing your education and training, and thank you for contributing to such important industries of tomorrow, such as our blue economy. Thank you. Now, of course, graduates, you did not do this alone. Your family and friends are here or maybe watching online. To the parents, grandparents, partners, loved ones, and friends, it's a time to take a moment and celebrate what you have contributed to these graduates. I know you have sacrificed so that they could come and reach this moment today. I'm going to ask our graduates to look at you, turn around, and give you a big hand, a thank you, to show their appreciation. Now, universities should not reflect the world we live in, but rather the world we want to live in. You, our graduates, are going to help create that world with the knowledge and skills you've acquired as part of Team Memorial. Memorial's greatest strength is its people, its students, its faculty, its staff, its alumni, and community partners. Together, we are unified in our commitment. By harnessing the strength of the people who make up Memorial in partnership with the people of our province, we share desire for a strong and responsive university. We will transform our horizons together. Graduates, you are now part of Memorial family of alumni, nearly 100,000 strong. There's a lot of people to draw strength from and also for you to contribute to. I hope in the months and years to come you continue to be part of Team Memorial. And finally, I want to tell you all that we will be extending an invitation to attend the convocation ceremonies we're planning for next year for those students whose convocations were postponed in 2020 and 2021 because of the pandemic. Please stay tuned to the end of the ceremony when the names of all graduates eligible for this ceremony will be scrolled on screen. graduates, we are all here excited to see what your future holds for you and the changes that you are making. We know that our world is in good hands because it's in your hands. Congratulations and well done.
Thank you, Dr. Timmons. Well, it's time for you to receive your degrees. A lot of talking about it up to now, and it's the actual day. And Memorial loves to celebrate in a formal way, as we are here all dressed up, and in an auditorium that is set to look at the light and the whole formal stage. This is to celebrate you and how important it is for you. And I'm going to ask you to consider doing. My husband said to me, I start too many sentences with the word you should. So I'm just suggesting that you might like to consider. Capturing this day in a way that you'll have forever. Every one of us lives on a continuum which is made of three things: the past, the present, and the future. And from second to second, that shifts. And so we are always alive in where we came from, where we are, and where we are going. And this walk across the stage here today is a real marker in your change from your undergraduate status to your graduate status. And you know, the question is the most important thing that there is. That's why I suppose we get it from the word quest, which is to seek. I may be making that up, so don't trust it, but it does seem logical. So I'm going to just ask some questions about the day, because you have your own private experiences, but all the other people who are here and with whom you can share, people you don't know but who are graduating today. And at the end of this day, or whatever your period of celebration is, try to encapsulate what was very special, what was challenging, what was heartwarming, all the things that make us human. And then you'll have a record of this very special time, in addition to your video and all the pictures that will be taken. But we are very proud. I think it shows. So we have a little announcement in case you've been here before for parents and for graduates. But in prior time, when we were announcing the convocations to begin, we would say, please withhold your applause till the end of each group, and then give everybody a big applause. But today and yesterday, we have invited everybody to applaud their person that's going across, or everybody, but after every single graduate receives their hood and comes through as a graduate. And it's a great feeling. So I'd like to ask you now to follow this way, and we'll see you up here one by one, because you know what? Convocation happens one person at a time. It's totally and complete in every single person.
Chancellor, in the name of the Senate of the University, I present to you the candidates for the undergraduate degrees approved for this session of Convocation. I have certified to the Senate that these candidates have fulfilled all the requirements pertaining to the degrees. I therefore request that you admit them thereto.
On the authority of the Senate, I, as Chancellor, will now admit the candidates to these degrees and confer upon them all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities which belong thereto. I call upon them, on the hearing of their name, to present themselves before me in the hood appropriate to the degree.
For the degree of Bachelor of Music, Ethan Alexander Gordon McGowan.
Ethan Alexander Gordon McGowan is from Petty Harbor Maddox Cove.
And those who have been approved by the Senate for the degree but are absent from this convocation.
Admitted in absentia.
For the degree of Bachelor of Music Education, candidate in absentia. For the degree of Bachelor of Special Education, Jennifer Bolt.
Jennifer Bolt is from Bauline.
Amy Leah Brazel.
Amy Leah Brazel is from Belle Island.
Glenda Mahan.
Glenda Meehan is from St. John's.
And those who have been approved by the Senate for the degree but are absent from this convocation.
Admitted in absentia.
For the degree of Bachelor of Education Post-Secondary, Jason Mario Young.
Jason Mario Young is from Deer Lake.
And those who have been approved by the Senate for the degree but are absent from this convocation.
Admitted in absentia.
For the degree of Bachelor of Education, Intermediate Secondary, William David Coffin.
William David Coffin is from St. John's.
Jade Mary Downey.
Jade Mary Downey is from Grand Bank.
Mark Francis Doyle.
Mark Francis Doyle is from Goulds.
Alexander Duff.
Alexander Duff is from St. John's.
Emily Catherine Lawton Felix.
Emily Catherine Lawton Felix is from St. John's.
Zachary Edward Furlong.
Zachary Edward Furlong is from Plate Cove West.
Alicia Carolyn Maria Dix.
Alicia Carolyn Dix.
Sarah Elizabeth George.
Sarah Elizabeth George is from Whiteway.
Alyssa Marie Gulliford.
Alyssa Marie Gulliford is from Campbellford, Ontario.
Tristan Holden Hayward.
Tristan Holden Hayward is from St. John's.
Luke William Charles House.
Luke William Charles House is from Corner Brook.
Heidi Aaron Jackson.
Heidi Aaron Jackson is from Cavendish.
Sarah Joanne Carmelita Johnson.
Sarah Joanne Carmelita Johnson is from Goulds.
Sean Patrick Kennedy.
Sean Patrick Kennedy is from Outer Cove.
Winner of the Blair Tulk Memorial Award. Jordan Robert Lee.
Jordan Robert Lee is from Petty Harbor, Maddox Cove.
Brett Miller McDonald.
Brett Miller McDonald is from St. John's.
Nikkei Latanya McIntosh.
Nikkei Latanya McIntosh is from St. John's.
Josh Mercer.
Josh Mercer is from Riverhead Harbor Grace.
Jessica Faith Mercer.
Jessica Faith Mercer is from Carmenville.
Sandra Lynn Murphy.
Sandra Lynn Murphy is from Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Tyler Cody Newell.
Tyler Cody Newell is from St. John's.
Brianna Mary Philpott.
Brianna Mary Philpott is from Clarenvale.
Cole Martin Oliver Power.
Cole Martin Oliver Power is from Capeland Cove.
Danielle Corrine Roche.
Danielle Corrine Roche is from Corner Brook.
Haley Jean Ryan.
Haley Jean Ryan is from Roberts Arm.
Krista Jean Shelley, winner of the Holy Heart of Mary Legacy Convocation Award, and winner of the University of Award for Academic Excellence, Intermediate Secondary Education.
Krista Jean Shelley is from Topsail.
Sarah Mackenzie Shepherd.
Sarah Mackenzie Shepherd is from Paradise.
Andrew David Smith.
Andrew David Smith is from St. John's.
Benjamin Edward Stone.
Benjamin Edward Stone is from Conception Bay South.
Marissa Nicole Walsh.
Marissa Nicole Walsh is from Marystown.
Melissa Dolores Wheeler.
Melissa Dolores Wheeler is from St. John's.
Kirsten Charlene White.
Kirsten Charlene White is from Corner Brook.
And those who have been approved by the Senate for the degree but are absent from this convocation.
Admitted in absentia.
For the degree of Bachelor of Education, Primary Elementary, candidates in absentia.
Admitted in absentia.
For the degree of Bachelor of Maritime Studies. Callista Mary Corbett.
Callista Mary Corbett is from Holyrood.
Ashley Patricia Rachel Pardy.
Ashley Patricia Rachel Pardy is from Bay Vert.
And those who have been approved by the Senate for the degree but are absent from this convocation.
Admitted in absentia.
For the degree of Bachelor of Technology. Vicky Case.
Vicky Case is from Conception Bay South.
Stacy Ann Challoner.
Stacy Ann Challoner is from Cape Royal.
Alyssa Dalton.
Alyssa Dalton is from Torres Cove.
Melissa Lorraine Hannum.
Melissa Lorraine Hannum is from Conception Bay South.
Ryan Blaine Kelly.
Ryan Blaine Kelly is from Conception Bay South.
James Rideout.
James Rideout is from St. John's.
Abby Rebecca Robertson.
Abby Rebecca Robertson is from Wolfville, Nova Scotia.
Agnieszka Stopka.
Agnieszka Stopka is from Toronto, Ontario.
Rhonda Elizabeth Yetman.
Rhonda Elizabeth Yetman is from Paradise.
And those who have been approved by the Senate for the degree but are absent from this convocation.
Admitted in absentia.
Chancellor, in the name of the Senate of the University, I present to you the candidates for graduate degrees approved for this session of Convocation. I have certified to the Senate that these candidates have fulfilled all the requirements pertaining to the degrees. I therefore request that you admit them thereto.
On the authority of the Senate, excuse me, this is a very formal time, and I will get back to being formal, but the hem of my thing is caught under the chair. As I was saying, on the authority of the Senate, I, as Chancellor, will now admit the candidates to these degrees and confer upon them all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities which belong thereto. I call upon them, on the hearing of their names, to present themselves before me in the hood appropriate to the degree.
For the degree of Master of Health Ethics, candidates in absentia.
Admitted in absentia.
For the degree of Master of Music, Azadeh Haddad.
Azadeh Haddad is from St. John's.
And those who have been approved by Senate for the degree but are absent from this convocation. For the degree of Master of Applied Science, Nashat Hatem Abolanadi.
Nashat Hatem Abolanadi is from Amman, Jordan.
Jagbir Singh Olak.
Jagbir Singh Olak is from St. John's.
Shivam Singh Chauhan.
Shivam Singh Chauhan is from Silvassa, India.
Hashim Ahmed Salaheldin Mohammed Anwar El-Saraf.
Hashem Ahmed Salaheldin Mohammed Answar Al-Saraf is from Alexandria, Egypt.
Idongasit Elijah Ingwang.
Idungasit Elijah Inwang is from St. John's.
Nikhil Gurnath Joshi.
Nikhil Gurnath Joshi is from St. John's.
Hadase Khalilpur Memandi.
Hadase Khalilpur Mayan Mandi is from Shiraz, Iran.
Sharon Manjunath Radresh.
Sharon Majnesh Haresh is from Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Augustina May Ndum.
Augustina May Ndum is from St. John's.
Anmal Ashmukbe Mistry.
Anmal Hashbushke Mistry is from Valdahora, India.
Shujana Mustafa.
Sujana Mustafa is from Jessore, Bangladesh.
Nicole Myers.
Nicole Myers is from St. John's.
Sodienye Wilson Opusunju.
Sodienye Wilson Oposunju is from Opobo, Nigeria.
Nicholas Aaron Osmond.
Nicholas Aaron Osmond is from St. John's.
Inyomi Foster Omatembe.
Iniomi Foster Obatembe is from Opuama, Nigeria.
Yuyang Pan.
Yuyang Pan is from Shanghai, China.
Neil Hareshbe Patel.
Nil Hareshbhai Patel is from Nar, India.
Tina Marie Putt.
Tina Marie Putt is from Gules.
Rao Muhammad Junaid Sagir.
Rao Muhammad Junaid Sagir is from Sahiwal, Pakistan.
Abhishek Krishnakant Shah.
Abhishek Krishna Chan is from Gurjat, India.
Vishal Harishba Shilu.
Vishal Harishba Shalu is from Pordandar, India.
Nikhilesh Palyath Vinod.
Nikhilesh Palyath Vinod is from Tivaranda, India.
Wei Wang.
Wei Wang is from Shenyang, China.
Daminiben Bhupadpendre Prajapati.
Daminben Bhupendra Prajapati is from St. John's.
Bridget Ariel Modo Atiba.
Brigitte Ariel Modo Atiba is from St. John's.
And those who have been approved by the Senate for the degree but are absent from this convocation.
Admitted in absentia.
For the degree of Master of Employment Relations, Jennifer Dawn Langdon.
Jennifer Dawn Langdon is from St. John's.
Hilda Grace Chinwe Raymond Ibuk.
Hilda Grace Chinwe Raymond Ibuk is from St. John's.
Amanda Elizabeth Penny Templeman.
Amanda Elizabeth Penny Templeman is from Wabash.
Gregory Benjamin White.
Gregory Benjamin White is from Norman's Cove, Long Cove.
And those who have been approved by the Senate for the degree but are absent from this convocation. For the degree of Master of Technology Management, Morgan Tyson Lee.
Morgan Tyson Lee is from Conception Bay South.
Jinong Shi.
Jinong Shi is from Guangdong, China.
And those who have been approved by the Senate for the degree but are absent from this convocation.
Admitted in absentia.
For the degree of Master of Science in Boreal Ecosystems and Agricultural Sciences, candidates in absentia.
Admitted in absentia.
For the degree of Master of Applied Psychological Science, Cooperative, Tracy Lynn Gulliver.
Tracy Lynn Gulliver is from Mount Pearl.
And those who have been approved by the Senate for the degree but are absent from this convocation.
Admitted in absentia.
For the degree of Master of Science in Fisheries Science. Andres Beta Jimenez.
Andres Beita Jimenez is from St. John's.
And those who have been approved by Senate for the degree but are absent from this convocation.
Admitted in absentia.
For the degree of Master of Applied Science. Samuel Nasai Agupong.
Samuel Asai Agipon.
We have a tradition here at Memorial Convocations that, as a special honoring and for the enjoyment of the whole group of graduates and all their parents and friends who are visiting, we have a musical performance, and it's traditionally from one of the students at the Memorial School of Music. And we are lucky today to have with us Lucy Tebbs. Lucy is a graduate violin student in the School of Music who is studying with Dr. Nancy Don. Originally from the Vancouver Island in British Columbia, she studied with the Lafayette String Quartet in Victoria before moving to Newfoundland to complete her undergraduate degree in violin performance. At Memorial University, Lucy plays on I'll just tell you a little bit about this. If you give me a breath here, Lucy, I want to tell them about your instruments just for a second. We have a bank of extraordinarily valuable, beautiful instruments that are donated by very generous people who love music, and they are held for exceptional students, so they get to play on them all year. And Lucy is playing today the Helen Martin MacLeod Hanukkah violin with the Hill bow, both belonging to this instrument bank. So thank you to all of them for doing that. Lucy is going to perform two movements from Sonata 2, Opus 27, composed by Eugène Ysaÿe, a Belgian composer. It is now time to proceed to the conferring of the degree honoris causa.
For the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa, Kelly Russell.
Chancellor, today we finally gather to celebrate the coming together of Memorial University's most recent graduates. We can finally acknowledge in real time and in person their unremitting resilience in holding fast to their dreams of graduating from Memorial. They have arrived safely at this holding ground, anchored in the community dedicated to guarding and guiding them on their way to work confidently anywhere in the world. Chancellor, I use this analogy between Memorial University and the nautical term, the holding ground, because it was popularized in a CBC radio play long ago and broadcast only 5 years after Newfoundland's confederation with Canada. It was a term popularized by another prominent Newfoundlander, Ted Russell, the magistrate, politician, professor, and father of Edward Kelly Russell, the man standing before you modestly and silently, and maybe a bit uncomfortably, despite his scarlet robes, where once his father stood. Kelly is waiting to join the roll call of honorary degree recipients and drop anchor for a while after his uniquely non-traditional and independent journey to this stage. As loved his father, so too has Kelly loved the deeply rooted traditions of authentic storytelling and folk music of this place. As a young man, though, he threw caution to the winds and focused not on coming to Memorial, but focused on playing, preserving, and recording these traditions of Newfoundland and Labrador. His singular passion for promoting the creative natural resources of the people meant that by the time Kelly was the age of most of the graduates here today, he was a household name. Madam Chancellor, you and I remember, and if you'll forgive me for making the comparison, we remember the heady, defiant days of the 1970s and the 1980s in Newfoundland and Labrador, when the times really were changing, and where the respect for the harmonious rhythms of folk music and the dignity of people grounded in their oral traditions inspired young people all over the world to find a way forward in their unprecedented times. As Kelly's friend, the singer Pamela Morgan, wrote, "We were in sync with a roots movement all over the world as people began to look inward to their own people for inspiration. Kelly led the way for this reaffirmation of our heritage. He had already laid the groundwork for this return to our roots by collecting and transcribing the folk music of Rufus Ginchard and Émile Benoit. Kelly used his dynamic skills as a fiddler to collaborate with other passionate advocates of this province's heritage. He was the leading musician in an impressive group of musicians and singer-songwriters whose names are now legendary. Jim Payne, Tommy Sexton, the Din Brothers, Sandy Morris and Ron Hines, as are the bands Kelly founded and played with: Figgy Duff, Wonderful Grand Band, Plankertown Band, Bristol's Hope, Kelly Russell and the Planks, and the Irish Descendants. For Kelly, playing traditional music was a way of life. His deep and intuitive connection with the soul of this place found expression in his playing of traditional music. Through his countless performances, he became one of Newfoundland and Labrador's most prominent musical ambassadors, traveling the world to England, Ireland, France, Sweden, as far away as Japan and Australia, as our unofficial cultural ambassador. Chancellor, others have paid tribute to his life's work. He was awarded the Newfoundland and Labrador Arts Council Award for Music in 1987, in 1991-97, the Tourism Industry Association Certificate of Recognition was awarded to Kelly. Also in 1997, he received the most prestigious Marius Barbeau Award for his contribution to folklore. And in 1999, the St. John's Legend Award was received. 2010, he was the first ever recipient of the Traditional Bearer Award. In 2013, he received the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal, and in 2014, the Order of Canada. By establishing Pigeon Inlet Productions, Kelly has not only been the bearer of traditional music, he has preserved the stories of all that was best in Outfort life. The dignity, the integrity, the hard work, the downright common sense, and good-natured humor that got people through unpredictable times. Kelly's first music teacher was his mother, Dora Oak Russell, who was also a writer, businesswoman, and a journalist for the Telegram. She was a woman well ahead of her time and a strong voice for women in Newfoundland and Labrador long ago. There is no denying that we have all faced hard times. But the time is right now, to honor Edward Kelly Russell for his love of this place, his passion for our cultural heritage, and for reminding us of Grandpa Walcott's wise words in Tales from Pigeon Inlet. How weak, he said, are the things that pull us apart. Differences in color, creeds, and opinions. Weak things like the ripples tugging at the schooner's chain, and thinking about how strong are the things that hold us together. Strong like Joe's anchor and chain and the good holding ground below. Why, in Pigeon Inlet, we've got things stronger than even dying. Chancellor, you have already fulfilled the dreams of so many at this convocation ceremony. So I ask you today to fulfill Kelly's dream of one day becoming a graduate of Memorial University. For as his father said, we have as good a harbor as you'd care to see, deep water and a good holding ground. I hope you will allow Kelly Russell to drop anchor in this holding ground before he sets out on his next voyage by conferring on him the degree of Doctor of Letters in recognition of his lifelong, unwavering faith in our culture and society, his dedication in cultivating the independent, innovative, natural talents of the people, and his love and faith in the irresistible, revitalizing power of music. So I ask you, as guardian and commander of Memorial University, to now confer on him the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I convey upon you the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations.
For his lifelong contributions to Newfoundland and Labrador folk music as a professional musician and music teacher, and for being a collector of more than 500 unique traditional tunes, Kelly Russell will receive an honorary Doctor of Letters degree. A professional musician since 1975, Mr. Russell has been a member of landmark groups Figgy Duff, the Wonderful Grand Band, Plankerdown Band, Bristol's Hope, Kelly Russell and the Planks, and the Irish Descendants. Working closely for many years with legendary fiddlers Rufus Ginchard and Emile Benoit, learning, recording, and documenting their unique music, he has inherited genuine status as one of Newfoundland and Labrador's leading traditional music performers. As a prominent ambassador, Mr. Russell has performed across the country and around the world.
Dr. Russell, may I please call upon you to address Convocation.
Chancellor, Honorable Minister, President, members of the Board of Regents, members of the Senate and faculty, members of the graduating class, and distinguished guests. Well, the Russell family are no strangers to the esteemed halls and tunnels of Munn. My father, Ted Russell, most famously known as the creator of Pigeon Inlet, was also a school teacher, a magistrate, a politician, and a Minister of Natural Resources in Smallwood's first provincial government in 1949. But that was all before I was even born. From 1965 to 1973, Dad was an assistant professor of English here at MUN and was later awarded an honorary doctorate for his immense contribution to Newfoundland literature. My sister, Elizabeth Russell Miller, following in her father's footsteps, was also professor of English here at MUN. She went on to earn her doctorate and is now a professor emeritus. My wife, Tanya Kearley Russell, received her education degree here, as well as a master's degree in folklore. So, where do I fit in? What's my status within this noble pedigree of educated Russells? And to the esteemed halls and tunnels of MUN? Well, I think it's perhaps best summed up in the words of Jerry Boyle, a character played by Greg Toomey on This Hour Has 22 Minutes. Jerry, in his campaign speech for political office, said, "Well, I didn't actually go to MUN. I went up around MUN." Well, to put it in sharper perspective, perhaps, I was more familiar with the Thompson Student Center, the Spanish Calf, MUN Radio, and the Muse than I was with the chemistry, science, education, or phys ed buildings. So, despite the expectations of my parents, I had little interest in furthering my formal education beyond grade 11. Because, well, I had a dream. I was going to be a musician. Influenced by new friends that I had met up around MUN, I discovered the newly minted genre of folk rock music led by bands from England like Fairport Convention and Steel Eye Span. They were playing traditional fiddle music and singing old folk songs, but with a rock band accompaniment using electric guitar and bass and drums. I was captivated and decided almost immediately that I would become a fiddle player. My father insisted that music was a great hobby, but you'll never make a living at it. So I set out to prove him wrong. The commitment, however, would require a lot more than just going up around MUN. It would require work, and a lot of it. The era of the early and mid-1970s brought with it an awakening of interest in our heritage, a cultural renaissance which saw the emergence of visual artists like Jerry Squires, writers like Ray Guy, poets like Al Pittman, theater groups like Codco, and musical groups like Figgy Duff. At the age of 19, I'd been only playing fiddle a year or so when I was invited to help form the legendary group Figgy Duff. The band's leader, a visionary named Noel Dinn, whose portrait, by the way, hangs in the foyer of the School of Music here, had big plans and high expectations for Figgy Duff, and I practiced for hours a day in order to hone my skill and keep my job. I realized early on that not only did I have to be a good fiddler, but I had to specialize. I must offer something unique, something different that would set me apart from thousands of other fiddle players. I needed to find a musical key that would unlock the doors. And it was during those early years with Figgy Duff that I found it. I found the key. My specialty would be Newfoundland and Labrador fiddle music. I began to seek out older fiddlers around the province, tape recording their music, learning it by ear and writing it down, later not only recording it and performing it myself, but making recordings of the musicians that I was learning from. I discovered now legendary fiddlers like Rufus Ginchard and Emile Benoit, promoted their music, traveled and toured with them, and taught their music to others. I was not just a musician, I also became a producer, a collector, a publisher, a recording engineer, and a music teacher. All these skills learned on my own by trial and error, and of course, much determination. When I began my career around about 1975, there were no fiddle teachers. There was no MUN School of Music. There was no program for recording arts and sciences at Kona. I had to forge my own path, teach myself how to read and write music, how to publish a book, how to operate sound systems and recording equipment. And interestingly, none of these pursuits seemed like work to me. I didn't shut the office door and go home at 5 o'clock. So my career now spans 47 years, and over that time there have been many high points, traveling to foreign countries and performing for royalty. I won't list it all here. There's not enough time. But I do, however, want to acknowledge what has been by far the greatest privilege of all, the opportunity to work with so many of this province's great musicians and artists. However, be advised, graduates, that fortune does not always accompany fame. I have sometimes thought that perhaps my dad was right after all. It's a great hobby, but you'll never make a living from it. So during the lean times, I found it necessary to diversify. Tanya and I got involved in the tourism industry, operating B&B establishments in St. John's and Trinity, and I was often found with a hammer or a saw in my hand rather than a fiddle or a mandolin. It seemed a natural extension to the overall activity that I was engaged in, promoting and helping to develop our unique cultural offerings. It is often the case, especially in today's gig economy, that one must first work to create the gig before actually getting out and doing the gig. If you're going to wait for opportunity to knock at your door, you may find yourself waiting a long time. So here I am today, retirement age this year, but not really retired. Musicians don't retire. We don't just stop playing music at the age of 65. I'm now employed with Tara Bruce Productions. We're performing our Newfoundland musical, No Change in the Weather, right here on this very stage next month, and then taking it to Toronto for performances there. If there's one thing that I've learned over these many years, is that there's always something else around the corner. If you are dedicated to your profession, determined to succeed, and willing to learn new skills, there will always be a path forward. So I suppose that is my message to you all here today. Excel at what you do, work at it, stay the course, and find your place in the world and make it uniquely yours. That's the key that will open the doors. Not all of us are fortunate enough to be employed doing what we love, but each and every one of us is capable of loving what we do. So, some thanks are in order before I conclude. Thanks to my mom, Dora Russell, for insisting that I learn piano as a child. To my dad for inspiring in me a love for Newfoundland. My old friend, Bob Hung, who was here this morning for the loan of his violin, which is the instrument I started learning on back in those days up around Munn. To my wife, Tanya, daughters Laura, Naomi, and Tamsin, and to my musical mentors, Emil Benoit and Rufus Ginchard. And speaking of Rufus, who, by the way, was born in 1899, I'll conclude with this little story that has a connection to Munn as well. It was 1976, and although I had yet to meet Rufus, I did have a tape recording of his, given to me by Dr. Peter Narvaez of the folklore department. I had begun to learn some tunes on this tape when I had my first chance to meet the man himself. We were both scheduled to play at the opening of the Canada Summer Games, just over here in the field next to the Aqua Arena. I was with Figgy Duff, and Rufus was performing with the Breakwater Boys, a group which included some faculty members from the English department. Rufus was sitting outside the Thompson Student Center when I approached him, introduced myself, took out my fiddle, and played for him the first tune on that tape. Now, at the time, Rufus was 77 years old. I was 19. He had 12 children, 26 grandchildren, and 24 great-grandchildren. And none of them had learned to play the fiddle. He had all this music in his memory, passed down through many generations, and no one was learning it. Needless to say, we became great friends. Rufus had found someone who would keep his music alive, and I had found a rich source of unique Newfoundland repertoire that I could learn to play and teach to others. So, it was a win-win situation. So to finish, Here is the first tune from that tape recording, a tune Rufus learned from his grandfather and that is now played by hundreds of young musicians today. It's called Pretty Little Mary. Oh, and please note the difference between a fiddle and a violin. It's an often asked question. We saw a violin being put to incredible good usage over there, and on this side of the stage we have the fiddle. What is the difference? The fiddle is the one with the white spot in the middle. We don't clean the rosin off our fiddles like the violinists do. Anyway, here's that tune from Rufus Skinchard. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to the Memorial University of Newfoundland for bestowing this great honor on me. And it's really great to be up around Mun again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Russell. What a joy to have you here with us today and help you celebrate what you so justly have earned over a lifetime. And you are part of the fabric of this place and always will be. And I wish we didn't have to close Convocation now, because I'd like to stay around for a few more fiddle tones. Well, it has come to the end of the formal part of your convocation. I should take this off at the moment. Take the advantage just to take it off when you can. And so off you're going out into the world. And we have a couple of mottos here, and I don't know how much they're learned and used from day to day. But the first one, and the one that's so well known, is launch forth into the deep. And that comes from our culture. But it's also a metaphor for gather your courage and do whatever it is you want to do or need to do. So you have that you probably brought a great deal of that with you when you came, and then in your time here in Mun, not around Mun, but maybe in and around Mun, you have shared those qualities that enable you to launch forth into the deep, even when it's really difficult. And so having a purpose like that is so important, and I know you will carry that forward in the remarkable things that you will be doing for your families, for your community, for the country, for the globe, for mankind and womankind. And we feel so blessed to be even part of this time with you. There's one of the graduates I hope I'm okay if I say, it's on television, so you'll all see it eventually, but Stacy is her first name. And when she stood on the yellow line over there waiting for her turn to come, she filled my heart, and I felt like I could explode with joy. She went, like, this is it. And it's one of many it's that Stacy and all the rest of you will earn and enjoy and contribute. And so we have a man of the place here, and we have people of the place. And we're very fortunate here in Newfoundland and Labrador because we understand place, and we know it's our duty to build place through community and through just being empathic and thinking of others, and that whether you're an engineer or a teacher, whatever you become, that's all really important too. So the other thing we have, the other reminder for our lives from Memorial, is our word mark. And it says, become, which implies you are forever becoming. And we trust you to do that in the most amazing way. So thank you very much for coming to Memorial. Stay in touch with us. You're part of the Memorial family now. And we look forward to seeing how your lives unroll and all the contributions you are going to make. And that's the end of our formal part of the convocation. And we will now sing the first and last verses of the Ode to Newfoundland. And we ask that when the procession from the stage here is leaving, if you would stay seated until that time, and then go and have one rip-roaring day.
Students who received degrees at this session hailed from all parts of Newfoundland and Labrador, as well as from across Canada and around the world. They are now all welcomed as alumni of Memorial University, a group that comprises the largest section of the university community. Memorial's academic dress is modeled on the University of Oxford gown, which was originally worn as a clerical dress. Those graduates receiving bachelor's and master's degrees wear plain black gowns, similar in design to the scholar's gown of the University of Oxford. The hats worn by these individuals are black mortarboards with black tassels. Hoods for the bachelor's and master's degrees are edged with velvet, the color of their particular degree. For instance, arts degree hoods are edged with white velvet, science are edged with gold, engineering are edged with orange, and so forth. These hoods are lined with claret and white, the university's official colors. The bachelor's hoods are distinguished by a white fur edging around the hood, while the master's hoods are completely edged in velvet.